On one of my very first nights in the rural village of Buwoira in Uganda, I saw a sight that will likely stick with me as long as I live. A man ran by carrying a child across his arm. At first, my teammates and I laughed at the unusual sight. Then we learned that his child was sick with malaria and he was running her to the local health center about a mile away. The fear on his face and the urgency with which he ran has been cemented into my brain. It was with this image in mind that my team and I hosted an HIV and Malaria Health Day for the whole village. We were working with an organization called the Uganda Village Project to improve health in rural villages. This day was our biggest event of the summer. We contracted with a drama group that performed skits about HIV. We also contracted with an organization that would provide free malaria and HIV testing. As a team, we gave a presentation on HIV prevention. We spent days preparing for this event, and we made posters on rice sacks with information about the event that we posted near the village boreholes. The time for our event came around, and we had about 2 people there. In a village of over 500 people, that is poor attendance. However, we knew not to be alarmed. We were growing accustomed to village time. People usually showed up a full hour or 2 later than the planned event time, and we just had to roll with it. Since not a lot of people were around, and we didn't have much to do yet, I asked my teammate Fiona if we could walk a mile back to our house to bring our neighbor children to our event. We wanted to get them dewormed and tested for malaria. In the 5 or so homes near ours, there were around 15 children who we spent a lot of time with and had come to love. When we got to their homes and asked their mothers if they could come to our event, they were very excited. The moms quickly bathed and dressed the children in their nicest clothes. I was nervous for the children to get tested for malaria because it involves a finger prick. They were so brave, and only the very littlest ones even shed a tear. While we were waiting for their test results, we sat in the grass and played games and danced. Balaka was a superb dancer. A counselor called me over to the table and handed me 15 little slips with the kids' names on them. I started looking over them, and not sure I was reading the results right, flipped through them quickly. Every single child, with the exception of one, had tested positive for malaria. The sadness I felt in that moment was intense. I knew malaria was a big problem in this part of Africa, but I had no idea that it was this prevalent. My mind quickly flashed back to the image of the father running with his sick child. Realizing that these kids that I loved were sick was very painful. Luckily, we were able to provide all of the kids with free treatment. The treatment at the local health center often runs out due to high demand, so we were happy to be able to provide treatment to so many villagers. Over the course of the next couple weeks, we saw a huge change in some of the kids, especially one little girl, Naka. Naka won all of our hearts this summer with her big smile and soft laugh. However, we didn't get to see that smile for a long time. When we met her, she was very reserved, and we didn't think she talked at all. She was often sleepy. After she got malaria treatment, she was like a whole different Naka. She laughed and played and turned out to be quite the chatterbox. Though she spoke Lusoga and I spoke English, the language barrier truly did not make a difference. Getting to see a healthier, happier side of Naka and her siblings Zalifa and Assumpto, and the other kids like Bakati and Bagisi and Balaka, was the highlight of my time in Buwoira. Even though I am no longer in Buwoira, I think about these kids every single day, and I miss them terribly. The impact that they had on me will shape my career and my life. I don't ever want to see children, like the child in her father's arms, or Naka and her siblings, suffering from malaria. As a future hopeful public health professional, I hope to help reduce the impact and burden of diseases like malaria.